Hello and welcome to Press and Play. This is Heather, and this is actually my second time doing this voiceover because it didn't record and I talked for 45 minutes, which is super fun. So we're going to do it again. What I'm doing today, I have been informed by my daughter, is Fairycore. I didn't know, I just had a vibe I was going for, and this is where we're at, and it's a ton of experimenting. So I'm going to start off with the ring, and I believe that's the thumb and the ring finger, and I am using Born Pretty SG02, and it is very light and not nearly as pigmented as I was hoping, so I end up doing 3 coats of it. I would definitely like to find a more pigmented jelly, but you know, it was a pretty good deal for the set, so I guess I can't complain too terribly much. The pink I'm using is also Born Pretty SG06, and they are from the same set. Sea Glass, I think that was the name of it, or Sea Glass Party, I don't know. But yeah, I also do 3 coats on these nails, so index, middle, and pinky here. Okay, I'm sorry, some of it's out of frame. It actually was in frame, but I decided to try to come in closer for some of the shots, and I can't quite figure out how, if you zoom in, how it won't zoom in the entire thing that you're editing. So, and I know for sure you can zoom in and out and it not affect everything, because I see other people do it. I just don't know how to do it yet, so I need to do some research on that and figure that out. Another thing on the list of many things to learn. So yeah, enjoy the journey, because we're taking one. And these are the art gels. They're like the like kind of putty or clay gels, and I'm just showing the colors to you. I'm not even going to use all of them. I'm not sure why I'm showing all of them. I probably should have edited that out, but too late now. That is a really pretty one. I do end up using that one, and the clear I use, the funny one that I don't show you, I use, and that's actually the best one that I have found. The other ones have a real funky consistency. They get real blobby and gluey and sticky. This blooming gel, which is what I'm going to put on the middle finger, is from Burano, if I'm pronouncing that right. And then I am going to do just kind of a white blob in the middle. What I want it to do is just kind of spread out and create a milky, kind of spirally texture on its own. So I will put that on, and then I'm going to set that aside and let it do its magic. And now I will play with some of the 3D gels. I will say, out of all of the gels that I played with, the clear was the easiest to work with, and you will see I'm on the struggle bus big time with these. And I do apologize ahead of time, because you're going to see me take off my gloves because I get so frustrated. And trust me, I'm quite mad at myself for doing that. I prefer to not expose myself to gel, but unfortunately I just got frustrated and I took them off, and here we go. Part of the problem is that those gloves are huge on me. They're smalls, but I did order some smaller gloves, and I can't remember what they're called, but they're the gloves that won't disintegrate in acetone. So I picked up a set of those in extra small, and even those still have about 1/2 inch of wiggle room on the ends of my fingers, so they don't really make gloves for people my size, like, you know, children, I guess. And I'm adding some 99% alcohol to the jar to help me work with this stuff, because my God, is it sticky. It is very sticky. And I'm just cutting out little pieces for my petals. And that was done, so I was just kind of flashing it by you real fast. But yeah, I don't recommend working without gloves for any of this stuff. And to top it off, like even after I was done working with it, I used alcohol, I washed my hands a bunch of times, and my hands still felt sticky afterwards. So that if that gives you any idea of like how hard it is to get it off of your skin, I really don't recommend it. And I will work through in future sets working with the gloves and getting over like my frustration, because it's not good. Plus, another thing that will be incentive not to take your gloves off is it actually becomes, the gel itself will kind of become milky, I think, from the natural oils in your skin. So it doesn't maintain that perfect kind of clear gel look the minute you take your gloves off. So let me be your guinea pig here, and let me just tell you, the guinea pig did not make it. She's not okay. So don't take off your gloves, and I will follow my own advice in future videos and not take my gloves off. So there's my PSA for this video. So basically, I am just taking little balls, rolling them up, sticking them, and then kind of wiggling them from the middle out to create the petal. And then I'm adding a little bit of a point to the end there. I have too much, so I'm taking it off. But yeah, I'm just kind of wiggling it out. Sorry for being out of frame. Oh, we'll get there. I know we will. It will all come together. Just hang in there, because I'm going to, and we're gonna get there. But yeah, just basically making little balls to create the petals. I did find if I was able to actually kind of create more of a teardrop shaped petal, it was much easier to get the shape. I wasn't struggling so hard with both the round shape and trying to create the point at the end. It gave me a little head start on the petal shape, so to speak. Can you tell it's like cloudy? I can tell. It bothers me. Like I've got clear and it's cloudy. It's fine. It's fine. But it actually came out pretty cute. I'm not mad at this one. I'm mad at myself. I'm disappointed at myself for not wearing gloves. But the actual flower itself, I think, came out rather well for my first shot. And then I'm just taking a little ball tool and a little daughter tool so I can put a charm in later, and adding a little bit more lines, little details, just any place that I felt like needed a little extra push. So now we're back to the blooming gel with the white blob. And I'm adding the Model 1's matte top coat, because what I'm planning on doing is taking some line gel, 3D line gel, and just creating kind of an abstract shape, and then chroming it. And what you're seeing right there is me wiping it off for about the 4th time of trying to do my line, and it not being what I wanted it to be. Everything was a little harder to work with than I had imagined, which I suppose is serving me right for assuming I could just jump in and everything just go perfectly smoothly. So one thing is I did find a channel, the Nail Hub, which gave me like a lot of information. If you haven't seen her, I forget, I think her name is Natalie, but her channel is The Nail Hub, and she's an educator, and she's like all the nuts and bolts, A through Z on gel polish. And I have actually been practicing off camera with my line art after watching her video on line art. I mean, it's everything from loading your brush up, which is quite important, how you get that color, get the polish onto your brush, and how you lay the lines. And that was super helpful. So you will see later down the road in future videos that my line art gets better. And right here I'm taking a chrome, and it came from some set on Amazon. I don't even know, it was a while ago that I got it. It was before I decided I was going to start filming me playing with nails. And I don't know how to link codes yet, or links. Yes, that's it. I don't know how to do that yet. I will figure it out in the future, and I will give you the links to the things I have purchased. But yeah, I'm just rubbing that on, and I'm gonna clean it up a little bit with a brush and some alcohol. And I don't know if it's showing, but I dip the brush in the alcohol and then kind of tap it on my paper towel so that it's not so super wet that it's actually taking any of my chrome off where I don't want it to come off. But I'm just cleaning it up, making it look like I put the chrome where I want it on purpose. So I think it's cute. And you can see some of it quickly. I did speed this up quite a bit. I had about 4.5 hours of footage that is on the floor right now, on the editing floor, because it was a lot of trial and error, and I didn't think it was necessary to bring you into all of that. A lot of frustration. And I'm adding a Model 1's top coat to this set, to that nail, I should say. So here is something that did not quite go as planned. My original idea, and I still went with it as if it was working, so you'll get to see how it plays out. My idea was to do some kind of delicate little petals, do flowers, do one flower, add a jelly on top of it, so it gave it made it look like it was further behind, do another flower, add another jelly on top, and then jelly. Did I say that? I said jelly. Okay. This is my second time doing this. I'm so sorry if it's extra messy, but here we are. And then I added another flower, and my whole idea was that I wanted it to look like there was depth, like the flowers were further behind each other. But because the gel that I'm using just has so little pigment, it really didn't accomplish what I was after. It just kind of ended up like blending together and being like a mess of petals, and it wasn't where I was going. I wasn't super thrilled with it, but I still just carried on because I figured at the very least I'm going to learn a lesson from this. I think what I might do is take a polish and add clear to it and try to create my own jelly and see if I can do this again. I'm not done with this idea. I am 100% coming back to this idea. It just doesn't get there in this set. And I don't want to buy any new polish quite yet. It's like this, you can buy so much stuff like in this hobby. It's so easy to be like, oh, I need one of those, and I need one of those, and I need one of those, and I need to slow down. So I'm gonna make do with what I can. If that does not succeed, then I suppose I will buy some more relatively soon after. But yeah, so you can tell it doesn't quite bring it down. I'm doing 2 nails. I'm doing both the thumbs at the same time, but I've cut some of it out. So if it looks like one of the flowers is a little bit different here and there, you're basically kind of hopping between the 2 thumbs. But most of it is just on this nail right here. So I'm adding, and I was watching somebody else do petals, and I can't remember who it was, but and they had kind of a more like, it was a very small flat brush. So I took one of my brushes and just kind of turned it on like the thinnest side, trying to create that shape, and it didn't quite work either. So also another thing on the list of things I'm not buying today, but probably soon. And I've cured that. Now I'm adding my jelly on top, and you can see it's a little bit of depth between that flower, but it blends too much. It's not enough contrast. It doesn't take that bottom one down and tone far enough for it to work. It just ends up where they all look like a bunch of green leaves, like maybe some ivy, or I don't know. not what I was after, but it's fine. Bubbles in it. It's fine. And then here I am after curing it, adding another layer of jelly. Oh, and this gel had like some, like, I don't want to sound gross, but like it had like snot in it. It's like these clumps, these like snotty clumps. So I was wiping that off. I had to be careful of that because they would end up kind of all over. That is just not good. So I try to rectify the situation by adding a little bit of lines to it to add some depth, to at least pop out some white in it. And that was the first nail I tried it on. So here's the second thumbnail that I'm trying to just save this. It's fine. I don't know if I saved it. Funny enough though, once it's all done, and I did add a little bling to it later, it saved it. The bling saved it for sure. Crystals to the rescue. But my daughter really, really loved this nail the most, which was super funny. Like, you just never know what other people are gonna like. I personally don't like it, but and that sucks that I gave her something in a set that I didn't completely like, but you know, you never know what someone else is gonna see in something. I know for sure I've drawn things that I loved and people were like, meh, and then things I hated, they were like, oh, I love this, I want a copy, I want to put it in my room. So you never know. So I don't know if I said it, but I'm making this set for my daughter, and she did not get me pictures of it. So the picture I have at the end is just my picture on the stand. I wish she had gotten me some pictures. She's been wearing them non-stop. She's just been re-gluing them on. They lasted her like a good week, and then she took them off, filed the back down, and put them back on. So, and I think she's saving them now for, what's her name? Melanie Martinez concert. She said that these are her aesthetic, and I'm like, okay, if you say so. I don't know. I believe her. I trust her. So, and that's when she was like, yeah, it's Fairycore. Like, cool. I dig it. I'm glad I made a style and didn't even mean to. I'm into it. So this here, I took some of the oh my god, what is it called? Macarte Blanc white, and I mixed it in with some clear so that I could kind of make it milky, and then I added dots of blooming gel. And my original thought on this was that if I dropped the blooming gel on it, it would open up and expose the pink clear jelly underneath. That did not happen. So this is another one of those things that didn't quite get there, but I did like what it turned into. It wasn't what I was going for, but it was pretty. So I just decided to lean into it and go with it, and I will figure out, I don't know if I can do that, like where I open up, if it'll open up the color if I do it with maybe just a clear gel, or I don't know. But here I've decided I'll kind of make it marbly, kind of go and lean into it. It looks to me like a rose quartz when you get it and it's not cut, and it's barely polished, maybe rock tumbled. But that's kind of the vibe it was giving to me. So I just went with it and said, okay, because I've also at this point been hours into this set. And so I was like, that works. It's good. It's fine. So this gel, I don't know what is it, putty gel? I don't know, 3D art gel. This one is beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. Those flakes in there are gorgeous. Working with it was a nightmare. The texture of it was like more sticky, very melty. And also those flakes stick out. So, and they mess with like your sculpture. So as you're going, you've got these chunks that are like either not letting you bend, then you see how stringy it is, not letting you bend like the pieces in. It made it a lot more difficult. And I decided not to cut out my struggle bus here because I thought maybe other people are playing with this and having issues too. And I kind of felt like it was good for me to show you how hard I was working at this. And the clear was a very different story, as you saw. And I really tried to keep my gloves on here because I had already had that clear residue on my hands before and couldn't get it off. So I was really trying to keep my gloves on. And there was a lot of long, deep breaths, a few F-bombs dropped. There were times I had to just get up and walk out and stretch and look at something else for a second, because I was definitely on the struggle bus for this one. And I'm like trying the same thing of rolling the ball and sticking it into the middle, and it's just, you know, I was putting the alcohol on my fingers and on the tool so that it wouldn't stick, but then it also kind of broke it down a bit, so it made it even more gummy. So it was a tough balance to find with how much alcohol to use to be able to work with it, but also not break it down entirely. And you can just see, like, I'm frustrated. I don't know. Maybe I just know my own hands, but those are frustrated hands. I'm just gonna tell you. Editing it, I got frustrated all over again. Watching, I was like, oh yeah, I kind of forgot, because I've done quite a few sets since this. And all I remember is the good vibes of like giving them to my daughter and her loving them. And it kind of erased how like irritated I was. I almost forgot how irritated I was until I started editing this. And then I was like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. So, yeah. Frustration. Get off my finger. But I did want to share this just in case somebody wanted like a hug, because I wanted a hug, but I figure you watching this and seeing you aren't the only one on the struggle bus. We ride together. Might help someone, because I did get there in the end. I did take off my gloves, but I did get there in the end. Can you see the little like pieces of foil popping out of the gel? I will definitely take any tips and tricks if anyone's worked with this set, with this gel putty or whatever, nail art gel. If they have any tips for working with this. I mean, it came out cute. I like it. And I did get there with my gloves on this one. And it's a good reminder to me too. And I think you can tell at the end result. It's subtle, but like the one that I kept my gloves on for, I think the gel itself stayed clearer. And then when I take my gloves off, you can see it start to get a little bit on the milky side. Oh, and there's my phone. I am doing voiceover right now. I can't answer it. So, you'll have to let me know if it being this fast is jarring to watch. I figure it's better than watching. I do work slowly at this point. But you'll have to let me know if you would prefer to see it in real time. And I can just do maybe one nail or two nails instead of a full set until I speed up. I'm happy to do that. And I'm very, very open to suggestions. I'm open to critique on both my filming and my nail work because I need to know how y'all feel about this. It will get better. That is for sure. Yeah, I took that off because I did not like it. None of the petals were the same size. So I start one more time. And I'm rolling it out. Just trying to give myself a nice little snake to cut up into somewhat even-sized petals. It will get back in frame, I promise. I did actually edit out quite a bit of stuff that was out of frame. It was in frame, and then when I zoomed in, I couldn't figure out how to have it zoom in to only one part of the video. It was zooming in, like it would affect the zoom everywhere, so I will figure that out too. Okay, now I'm frustrated and I've said screw it and I've taken my gloves off. Shame! But it does go faster from here. And I do think that having the right size gloves makes a world of difference. You just never know what's gonna like be the hiccup, right? I had no idea that this would be as frustrating as it ended up being. And now I'm moving along at a better pace. So once again, roll the ball, squeeze in the middle with your tool. This tool set I also got on Amazon. Oh, just kidding. Did you think that pedal was staying? It's not staying. It's gonna be better. Got some rogue glitter happening here. I mean, it's stunning glitter, but it definitely has a mind of its own. It's not completely into the idea of being told where to go. I would say if it's your first time doing this, stick to the clear for a bit just to get the feel of it down. It's so much more like gooey than the clear and more frustrating because of those little pokey outy bits. So I promise this is the flower that stays on this nail. And I actually think after all of that, it was worth the struggle bus. Because I do think it came out pretty cute. And like I said, I forgot how hard it was when I gave it to my daughter just because she was so happy. And they did look pretty as a set. So now I'm going to take some of that same pink chrome that I used for the line art on the abstract milky nail and just kind of throw it over the top of that flower we just made, just so I can bring out a little bit of the detail that I worked so hard to get in there. And also, it really wasn't showing very much. There wasn't much contrast between the flower and the actual nail. It was a little too clear. So just a little dab, and I'm cleaning up any spillage. I didn't have a matte coat underneath, so I just used a little bit of the alcohol and cleaned up any kind of spillage. And you know, there's one more flower to do, and why not just do it, right? But it's with the clear. And now I'm feeling like a pro after doing that other one. So I have to say, like, this one felt a million times better. And especially since that gel really holds together in such a nicer way than the other one. So I was able to kind of pop this guy on relatively quickly. And I just made all of the petals together so that they are somewhat in the same size, and just checking my other flower just to make sure that they look like sisters. Little dot, push in the center, plump up the sides, and then I'm going to create a point at the back end of it. And this is where, if you had made it into kind of a teardrop, it would have made half your work done already. This stuff is pretty firm. I was thinking I'd like to play with some acrylics, because I think like you're more delicate with it. Like this, you can see, like, as I'm pushing into it, I'm pushing hard. Like I'm putting real pressure. I'm bending that tool. I'm like in there. And of course, in my mind, oh sure, acrylic, that'll be easier. But I'm sure it won't be. But I do want to play with it. I think it will be a lighter hand to create the shapes. So, and I did get some in the Super Scoop, which is a video coming up soon. I do an unboxing from a Super Scoop from Nail Couture, and I did get quite a bit of acrylic in that. They definitely give you quite a bit of acrylic. It's acrylic heavy for sure. So I think I'll play with that and see if I can do some flowers with that. And I'll take you along on the journey, because, you know, if you enjoy this kind of content where somebody figures it out, then there'll be plenty more of that. Though I do have some videos that go a lot smoother coming up. I do promise that. I just need to edit them. I'm just going down the list one at a time. It's kind of a funny thing watching yourself do something and also be a month out from it and seeing like already where you've improved. That one came out nice and pretty easy. I love that one. I think that's my favorite one. And then I'm just gonna pop a little hole, make sure that there's room for a little bling in the middle. Just adjust any little bit. And here we are, the bling portion of our video, which also means we're getting close to the end. If you've made it this far, you are amazing, and I appreciate you more than you'll know. I think this is where I'm supposed to say, you know, like, thumbs up, subscribe. I'll take it if you want to throw it at me. You don't have to. You could thumbs down it. That's fine. I'm not going to be too hurt. I will take that and be like, okay, I have things to work on. But yeah, if you wanted to drop me a comment, say hi. I would love to talk to some people that love nails as much as I do. And I'm using the Macart gel glue. Gem glue. Yep, all of those work. And I'm using AB crystals, and I love the AB crystals with these colors because they have that reflective of the pink and the green, and I think that those crystals and this set were made for each other. I really, really like those on there. So this one, I decide to do a little, like near the cuticle, like a little crown. That's what it looks like to me anyway. And I start off with the biggest one in the middle, and then I have, I gradiate down into the smallest of the crystals. So I start off with, like, I guess that would be like a medium. It looks pretty big on that nail though. Crystal. And then move one down for the two on the side. Oh, they're so pretty when they catch the light. The shiny makes me happy. Those boxes are hard to get into. They are really hard to get into. At some point, I'm sure they're all going to go flying when I try to open them. And then this one, I'm just using the teensy, tiny little ones. They're so cute. They're so small. And then I just cure that once I'm happy with it. They're so pretty. I actually really like the way that nail came out. Even though it wasn't where I was heading, it still was nice. And same thing, rinse and repeat. Big in the middle. One down. Itsy bitsy little ones. Teeny tiny cute ones. And then mess around a bit. And put her in the lamp. Looks good, put it in the lamp. Cute. Okay. So on this one, I just add 3. I would say, looking back at this, watching it, I wish I would have put a bigger one in the center. I think it would have looked better than just putting 3 of the small ones, like even one size up in the middle. I think it would have been a nicer flow, but I think it still came out cute. I'm not unhappy with the end result. I just know that I would have liked to have seen a bigger one, and maybe even some like little caviar beads to just kind of give it a nicer flow. It just, instead of them looking like they're floating in the middle. I think my thought process was that it's abstract, so having kind of a little bit of an abstract design is something that would work well with it. But I don't know. You be the judge. Tell me if you like that. Or if you think one in the middle or some caviar beads to kind of tie it down so they don't look like they're floating in nothingness would have been better. I honestly think I got to this point like 5 hours later and was like, you know what? It's fine. It's absolutely fine. And that's in the lamp. And now we will improve upon this. And it really does help, I think. It makes a big difference. It at least gives it some sort of center. Yeah, that nail. We won't talk about that nail anymore. I'm just gonna be quiet and you can enjoy me putting on some beautiful sparkly beads. Much better. So at this point, I'm just going to add some Model 1's top coat to all of the nails. And I would be open to suggestions on a good top coat, good inexpensive top coat. I don't want to spend a ton of money on stuff that I'm just going to wipe off a lot, but I would like one that doesn't fade. I noticed I put on this top coat on another set that I made for myself. That was a just a pink, and then I added a little Aurora chrome to it, and then I top coated it, and I noticed it got less and less shiny. So I am open to suggestions if anyone has any, as far as a good, inexpensive, beginner-friendly top coat. And I'm just giving everything a once over, making sure that chrome stays on. Well, that one doesn't have chrome. Just making sure that the bead stays in there. I didn't actually put the top coat over the gems. I was trying to be really careful about that so they wouldn't lose their shininess. I actually think I did top coat this one already. It's a no wipe top coat, so it doesn't get sticky afterwards. But I guess I'm doing it again. I think I did it directly after I put the chrome on, but I obviously forgot because that was like 10 years ago, so it's easy to forget that. And I'm trying to also be careful not to lose too much detail in the 3D gel while I'm top coating. And here, same, just adding the top coat, pushing that top coat in between the gems. And here I decide to use a little brush to get to the back end of that and get in between those gems. So just trying to secure them, make sure they don't fall off. And so far, they haven't fallen off, and we're at 2 wears right now, and all the gems are still on there. And that is my horrible picture that I have. And I wish I had another one. I will be better about taking pictures. I was promised a picture of that one, but I did not get it. So thank you all for coming with me, and if you stuck with me, an extra big thank you and a big hug, and I really hope you join me again because I do promise this will get better. Have a fabulous day. Bye.